Hi everyone, welcome back. I had to cut the last video that I did for the ruby weapon kind of short, so we are going to be picking up where we left off with the defeat of the ruby weapon, which the run-through wasn't that bad. We only had to do 2 runs of it to get the whole thing right. It really makes me wonder how tough the extreme is going to be. But we are here back on the plains of the Gimlet Dark. And we're about to exit here and most likely get another cutscene. So we are going to be wrapping up the whole story with the ruby weapon, hopefully in this video. If not, then there'll be one more, possibly unlocking the extreme mode. So until then, let's see what happens. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. As ever, an impressive display. Though as I'm sure you will concur, the Ultima weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. If their research is allowed to continue, the next model will be nigh on unstoppable. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. Here to shift through what remains of the ruby weapon, are you? Allie, what do you think you're doing? Allie? Father? Wait, what? It has been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. Given that the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads into Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It is wonderful to see you again, Father, although I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. I know a lot's happened, but I'm just glad you're all right. And now, you can come back to Golem with us. My days serving the Empire are over. Because you're suspected of assassinating Emperor Varus? But we know you'd never do a thing like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back to the way it was. So he found you two shivering on the roadside when he was going through Wylet. Lucky for you, eh? If he hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. As for us 3, our parents all died in the epidemic. We'd still be begging on the streets if it weren't for him. I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights for the Empire, so we should too. That'll make him proud of us. You're saying we should join the army? I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Wylet was scared of the Guardians. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right. He always says that the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. All right, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in, and maybe one day people will look up to us like we do Lord Gaius. Then it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Then that would make Lord Gaius our father? Well, if he doesn't mind us calling him that, I suppose so. And that makes you our big brother since you're the oldest. You better be nice to us or I'm telling father, haha. Father, ever since you went away, a lot has changed in the Empire. For us, too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. What do you mean? The truth is... If you must go, I will not stop you. But answer me this. Who was piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that now Vandarnes has not returned from the dead. Who do you think? It was Melisandria. No, no, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that you would let that happen. She was a sister to you, to all of you. We only want to finish what you started. And while we will never forget all that you've done for us, the next time we meet, it shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandria. I swear it. I do not like where this is going. Oh no. So these are people that Gaius knows personally. Like he saw them as his kids? Oh, this is gonna be painful. Well, well, Gaius Van Belsar, we meet again. Come to see how your precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? You have come to collect data on the ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandria, should still be inside the cockpit. I will ask Valdilian to escort you to the wreckage. Any ideas who this Melisandria is? An Imperial crony of his, perhaps? Not quite. One of the orphans. Gaius always did have an eye for talent, and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livius S. Julius was another protege of his. He even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. It's strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then my father and countless others lost their lives in the Boja incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Solus's orders, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support. But he was as much as a pawn of the Emperor as my father, and refused to intervene. When my turn came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea. I blame Gaius as much as any of them, perhaps even more, for the barbaric acts carried out in the name of conquest. When we met at the Palatorium, all the hatred that had been festering inside me seemed to fade away. I remembered the man I once respected. To think the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of the Ascians, who left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of his men to early graves. It's more than most could bear, and now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I'd best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. What do you say to that? I really don't know what you can say, or if there's anything you can say at all. But I guess it wouldn't hurt to try to talk to him. If the cockpit remained intact, we may be able to glean information from the pilots. If Sid is as I remember him, it will not take long for him to finish investigating the remains of the ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. My engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilots. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but if Melisandre is dead, I only wish that she was not made to suffer. Death would have been a kindness. In all my years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the ruby weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony as her very life's essence was drained from her. So she was sacrificed to power the infernal machine. We must act quickly if we are to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Claire, is there any other information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapon prior to its deactivation? Nail Van Darnus. Did the Legatus mean that much to Melisandre? From what I gather, it sounds as if the data based on Neil's combat capabilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected and the Empire begins implanting the memories of renowned warriors such as the White Raven into its soldiers, the Alliance won't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible? Simple method of transference was using the prototype Estinian fought. Oh wait, that's more or less how soul crystals work. Yes, it seems that such crystals are common use throughout Eorzea, an ancient but effective means of passing on knowledge from one generation to the next. While it may bear some similarities, we won't know for certain until we've analyzed the wreckage of the ruby weapon. It cannot be denied that combining combat data from an experienced soldier with the powers of an icon has yielded remarkable results, but in doing so the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once, I agree with you, yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who was supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There is one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation first. Severa will provide support while you are in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest of Garlean technology, there are a few soldiers I would rather have watching my back. In the meantime, Valdulian and I will follow the ruby weapon's tracks back to its point of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and the manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this lull in Garland activity to recuperate. Would I be correct in guessing that this belated reunion with those darling orphans of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius. If you so much as think of returning to your Imperial masters, I will kill you. Oh wow, that's harsh. Okay, so from what I can see, these two seem to have kind of a partnership, but they don't really trust each other. Or at the very least, they have common interests, and so they're kind of putting up with each other. But it seems that this Severa, the girl with the blue hair, she seems to be somebody that he does trust. Oh, and we're back outside again. Okay, so let's see here. The resistance officer. Okay, so I think we could close the whole thing up with him. So you put down the ruby weapon? Gods, I wish I could have seen it. Not from too close, mind. I suppose I should report news of your victory to the higher-ups. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle? You make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, anyone would think you slay hunking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all of this into a report and leave a copy over there should you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you've got more pressing matters to take care of, like going for a celebratory pint. If the Garlings pluck up the courage to come knocking again, we'll let you know. Until then, rest up. I noticed that a lot of people seem to be telling us to just hurry up and rest. Ooh, another cutscene. What's going to happen now? Is it going to be a clue to who we get to fight next? My bet is on the emerald weapon. We should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us. I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Allie. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Melisandre's death be in vain. Even if that means going against Father's wishes. Cheer up, Alphonse. We can all go back to being one big happy family after we dealt with those pesky Eorzins. It'll just be like old times. If only we're that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me? I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next, O ye of little faith. With me at the helm of the sapphire weapon, it'll be over before you know it. Whatever happens, Rex, promise you'll come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you too. So it's going to be the sapphire weapon next. Oh, cannot wait. Oh, and it looks like we have another quest here, but I think we'll continue on that next time. So until then, be back soon.